Murder Master Music Show. What's up? This is Prez. Bring on co-host Mac Jay. How you doing, Mac?
What's up with it, Prez?
Man, episode 220. The legendary Jerry Heller makes his return to the show.
Oh yeah.
We've had him on here, of course, several times, and since the last time we've had him on here, a movie came out called Straight Outta Compton. I went and saw the movie. Actually reviewed it on my site. I didn't really give it too good of a review. It was entertaining, but as a lifelong N.W.A. fan, I'm just going to say this: it was very, very inaccurate. And we're going to bring on Jerry Heller right now and break it down of why and talk about a whole bunch of other things. What's up, Jerry?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Jerry? How you doing tonight?
Nothing. I'm watching my Dodgers get beat tonight, 6-3 by
the
Mets.
We just watched our Cubs win.
Yeah.
Time to take.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it's only taken 107 years, but they're not there yet. But and first and foremost, I read this interview that you just did, which is blowing up with SmashHD or SmashD.com. A very candid interview. I mean, were they in your house? I mean, I see pictures of plaques and just a hell of a piece I'm looking at right here.
Yeah, they were in my house, and I moved out of Calabasas, and I'm living a little further out on the lake now, and I got divorced in April, so I didn't need that big house anymore. And it was right next door to Eazy-E's and had a lot of memories there. I just thought I would move. And my brother and my nephew live out here, so it's at this stage of my life, I just want to be around my family.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's always a good thing to have family nearby too. You definitely, I mean, for people that don't know, you've worked with the likes of Creedence, Pink Floyd. I mean, this goes way, way before N.W.A. Out of all the stuff you've done over the years, what do you remember the most and why?
Well, I have what I call my magic moments in the music business. And I think that probably one of the most important moments of my life was Elton John coming to this country and opening at the Troubadour. That was just magic. And then Van Morrison at Carnegie Hall, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young at the Greek Theater. I go all the way back to the mid-'60s, where most guys that got started at that time were agents like myself and David Geffen and Irving Azoff and, of course, Tom Ross. And, of course, Bill Graham was a promoter. He was doing the Fillmores in Winterland. So we all got started at about the same time in the mid-'60s.
Wow.
But I think that the most important moment of my life probably was, the 8 years that I spent with Eric Wright and N.W.A.
Oh, yeah. Some of the most important years of my life when they was rocking, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really shaped a lot of the things that we was listening to back when me and Prez was coming up. And now this movie then came out, and it's like it's everybody hype about N.W.A. again. But I just feel like if Eazy was still here, he could have done so much more. You know what I mean?
I think that Eazy was probably the greatest visionary of his time. And, I give certainly Dre credit for being what I think is the greatest producer of his generation. I mean, his body of work it's just phenomenal. And it stretches over 20-some years, So, I mean, his body of work was just phenomenal. But Eazy was the visionary, and he was the conceptualizer of Ruthless. And I really took issue with that part of the movie where they made it look like Dre and Cube. Dre was in the World Class Wrecking Crew. Yellow was in the World Class Wrecking Crew. Cube was in CIA. Eazy was the founder, and then of course he was the conceptualizer, and then he and I started the company together in February of 1987.
Yeah, and you know, historically in your book, and it's been all over the internet, even Lonzo verified this. Eazy-E sought out you. In the movie, they got you chasing him around. I mean, how did that make you feel seeing that type of inaccurate account?
Well, it's what I call revisionist history.
Uh-huh.
You know, obviously, Cube and Dre were calling the shots in that movie, and you know, they made it either the way they wanted to believe it, or they just did anything they wanted. And remember, it is a movie, so
yeah,
you know, they're not, you know, they don't have to stick to the exact letter of the law. But when they start talking about Eazy getting beat up by Suge Knight, I mean, that's a joke, man. I mean, that never happened.
Just like the scene when Eazy was riding and he looking at the Dre billboard and like crying and shit like that. I really don't see Eazy doing no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm like, maybe
Eazy,
they just threw that in for drama reasons, but it kind of made people look at, like people that didn't know Eazy-E, kind of look at him a different way. I really don't like that shit.
Eazy was a hard motherfucker, man, and he would never, ever cry. You know, he would do what he did. He would make another album and discover Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, and then do another album of his own. And you know, for them to say that I got fired, and that's, come on. You know, Eazy and I were there at the beginning, and we were there at the end, and to make it look like I was sitting in my kitchen crying and saying, "Don't fire me." Come on, anyone that believes that, you know, is just a fool.
I mean, for a guy that has been in the music business for decades, going back to the mid-'60s, as you said, I doubt that if that happened, you would be bawling like a baby.
Well, it didn't happen, and I wouldn't be bawling like a baby. And he and I were, he was like my son. You know, that would never happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, I saw on Facebook today a picture of my nephew, Terry Heller, who owns a group of restaurants now called the Plan Check Rooms, with will.i.am. And, you know, he was one of the A&R guys at Ruthless that Eazy and I hired, and he signed the Black Eyed Peas when they were the At Band Clan. And I think that we signed Will when he was 14 or 15 and put him on salary. And, of course, you know, he turned into one of the, you know, most important stars of our generation. But you look at the people that were on Ruthless, and, you know, Eazy he would have been probably one of the most important people in the music, television, and movie business.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, he had the Bone Thugs, was, you know, multi-platinum, and the thing that bothered me was, you know, It's On was one of my favorite fucking albums of the '90s. It was the EP, but it was one of my favorite releases of the '90s. They didn't even mention it. They didn't mention Rhythm D. They didn't mention Dirty Red. None of them guys. Cocaine. It was like, how can you cut out all of Eazy's people, but then, you know, all these other guys are inserted? It just didn't make sense to me. Like you said, it
didn't mention Knocc Out. It didn't mention Dre'Sta. Didn't mention N.W.A. or Menajahtwa. Didn't mention all the important people. J.J. Fad, man.
Yeah.
It didn't mention all the important people that were so crucial to Ruthless. You know, Ruthless wasn't just a gangster rap label. And it didn't mention, you know, if Eazy wouldn't have passed away when he did, I think that Bone Thugs-n-Harmony probably, because I left then, Bone Thugs-n-Harmony probably would have turned out to be really one of the most important groups of the entire rap era.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. You know, but yeah, they didn't mention all these people. They you know, they had the Ice Cube diss in there, of course, No Vaseline, but they didn't have real motherfucking G's. There's so much left out